Baseball season is winding down. The Blue Jays are in their final month, 25 games to go to the 2010 season. The Texas Rangers are in town to take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Hello, everybody. I'm Buck Martinez along with Pat Tabler. And, Pat, the Blue Jays have had a great 5 months to their season, but you want to make sure you don't lose any of that momentum. San Diego and Cincinnati last year finished up very strong based on the strength of their starting pitching. They carried that into division leads in their respective divisions. It's important for the Blue Jays to finish up on a high note.
Yeah, they're playing for something. Cincinnati has the best record in the National League. San Diego has the best pitching, and I think it all starts with the starters, and the starters for the Blue Jays in the second half have been sensational. Yes, they definitely have something to play for, to take the momentum that they have carried through the first 5 months, take it through September as you get ready for the 2011 season. Markham, Cecil, Romero, Morrow. Check out the record, 19-8 with a very good earned run average since the All-Star break. Blue Jays are building something very special here, and it all starts on the pitching mound.
When you have that kind of young pitching, you always have optimism about the upcoming season. It's also important for the hitters to finish up strong. Aaron Hill got off to a terrible start to his season. When you look at the first half, at the break after 71 games, he was hitting under 200. On base percentage and on OPS was way down, and the home runs per at bat sky high. Well, things have turned around for him in the second half. He is closing in on 25 home runs.
I think he's the hitter we saw last year in the second half, and that's a pull hitter. I think the pitchers were pitching him away the first half. He was trying to be somebody he wasn't, trying to sashay the ball over to the right side. That's not Aaron Hill. He is get up there, grip it, and rip it, pull the ball. We've seen that the last couple of nights with home runs to left field. That's the Aaron Hill we all know.
Yeah, there's always a chance that you think about your strengths instead of your weaknesses, and that looks like Aaron Hill right now. Blue Jays continue to fortify their roster with minor league call-ups, and for more on that, let's check in with Sam Cosentino.
Buck, this place will be a little more crowded starting today. After the game last night, the Blue Jays made a couple of moves, including calling up Mississauga native Sean Hill, who has big league experience with a couple of different teams. He's coming off his second Tommy John surgery. He made 11 starts at 4 different stops along the way, but his last one at AAA Las Vegas was the best. He went 6 2/3, allowing 2 hits against Portland. He will get the start Thursday in this series finale. Robert Ray, who made 4 starts last year before starting to experience shoulder stiffness, that turned into back stiffness. He was limited to 18 starts in AAA this year. He will be called up to be the long man in the pen for now, but that may change with a spot start coming later on, depending on how Zepchinski and Hill react in each of their next starts.
The Blue Jays continue to pound out the home runs. They've homered in 8 straight games. They've hit 8 in the last 3 games played. 9 different players have gone deep for the Blue Jays over that span. They're on a pace to set a new club record for home runs.
Homeowners helping homeowners.
Rangers ready for game 2 of this 4-game series. Texas losers in last night's game. Let's take a look at Ron Washington's lineup. Anytime you look at this Texas Ranger lineup, you're going to notice the DH, Vladimir Guerrero. 352 career average at Rogers Center. That's better than anybody in baseball. He absolutely loves hitting in this ballpark, and last night was a great example of how he can cover so many different areas of the strike zone and even pitches that are out of the strike zone.
Yeah, he hits the ball from foul line to foul line, gap to gap. Wherever the ball is pitched, he can hit it and hit it hard. Doesn't matter up, down, away, in. It doesn't matter. 352 average, which is incredible here at Rogers Center. Sean Markham takes the hill for his 27th start of the season. Has a chance to match his career high for wins, which he set back in 2007. Sean has pitched some outstanding baseball over his last 2 outings, but really doesn't have anything to show for it. 1 run over 6 innings in each of his last 2 no decisions. And he has been pitching some very, very good baseball. Now he needs to get some wins for it.
Markham going up against the Rangers, 1-0 in 7 career appearances. This will be his 5th start against Texas. Ian Kinsler leading things off. Swings at the first pitch and drives it to center field. Vernon Wells over in the gap in right center in front of the warning track and hauls it in.
Good start for Markham. 1 pitch, 1 out as Wells hauls it in. Let's take a look at the scouting report. Brought to you by TD Bank. Banking can be this comfortable. He's a control specialist. Strikes with all of his pitches. 163 innings pitched this year. 37 walks. That's it for Markham. He's deceptively quick. His fastball's 86 to 92, but it gets on you very quickly. He sinks and cuts that changeup. We talked about it all season long. He's got 2 different types of changeup, and he's very effective against Texas using it.
Michael Young takes the first pitch strike. 3 more hits for Young last night. He stretched out his hit streak to 7 games. He'll cut her off the end of the bat.
With every one of those hits now, he will keep adding to his record. He is the all-time leader in hits for this franchise now.
A ball and 2 strikes. Michael Young is truly one of the best hitters in the big leagues. He is a 300 career average. And there are just 17 major leaguers with 300 career averages. Markham gets him with an off-speed pitch. First strikeout of the night.
Just 81 miles an hour. That's that changeup. And again, he has the ability to sink it to the lefties, cut it to the righties. That time it went a little bit away from Michael Young, and Markham picks up his first strikeout.
David Murphy hitting third here tonight. Last night, Ron Washington had a different lineup. He had Cruz in the 3rd spot. Tonight he'll try Murphy. First pitch strike. Murphy has a mini 5-game hit streak going. Drilled down the right field line, but hooking into the seats. It's one thing Markham really plays well on is reading the bat of the hitter. As Murphy was out in front of that, now you would think that Markham's going to come back with that changeup 0-2.
Probably goes back to the days when he was a player. Played some shortstop. We'll take a look at John Buck and see what he says. You're right.
Changeup, got him. 2 strikeouts in the inning. A very quick inning for Sean Markham. We have played a half an inning here at Rogers Center. Just 8 pitches for Markham. We're scoreless. They scored 7 runs on 9 hits and pounded out 3 long balls. Take a look at the lineup for Cito Gaston. Down in the bottom of the order, Aaron Hill's been hot his last 10.
Start in place of Cliff Lee. Feldman hasn't pitched since August the 21st due to a right knee injury. He did throw 4 innings in a rehab start last Wednesday. His last win as a starter came way back on June the 18th versus Houston.
Dwayne Wise continues to fill in the leadoff spot, and he's made good use of this opportunity. 4-game hit streak, 8 for 18. Fouls it right off Matt Trainor's mask. Lance Barksdale checking, make sure his catching partner's okay. Feldman ahead 0-2. Got him. High fastball gets Dwayne Wise. He strikes out on 3 pitches.
That pitch was by design to go up in the strike zone against Dwayne Wise to see if he'll go ahead and fish for it. Feldman used to be a sidewinder, now about 3/4 action. That time up in the zone. Dwayne can't lay off of it. Feldman has his first strikeout.
Feldman was the Rangers pitcher of the year last year. 17 wins, 4th most in the American League. Junel Escobar with a home run in last night's game takes a look at an inside fastball. Escobar drove in a run with that home run and scored a run, had a sacrifice bunt in that 5-run 3rd inning. Gets jammed, little flare in front of Bourbon in center. That'll get down for a base hit.
Good start for Escobar against Scott Feldman. Let's take a look at the scouting report for the 6'7" right-hander. He's got a heavy sinking fastball that he'll use to try and get some ground ball outs. Superb cutter. Changeup and a curveball that he'll use for a show, but it's that superb cutter I think that he'll use to get batters out, and really too many base runners this year. He's thrown 129 innings this year. He's given up 211 base runners. That's just in 25 appearances. So that's one of the problems that he has had this year.
Jose Bautista swings at the first pitch and pops it over near the seats along the 3rd baseline. Michael Young there makes the catch. Young went right to the wall, braced himself, and then leaned over the seats to make the catch.
Michael Young can pick it no matter where he's played. Short, second, they haven't over 3rd the last couple of years. Find the wall, then find the ball, and that's exactly what Michael Young does. Picture perfect right there to put down a pretty dangerous hitter at Jose Bautista.
Anytime you have an opportunity to retire Bautista, you can do everything you can, and Michael Young did just that. 2 outs now with a runner at first for Vernon Wells. Ripped into left field past the diving Young at 3rd. Escobar will stop at 2nd. Again, that reflects Feldman's entire season. The ball was right out over the heart of the plate.
When he won 17 games last year, his ERA was very respectable, just over 4, but he kept everything down. That is a hanger. He wanted it down and away from Wells to see if he'll go ahead and fish for it. But it's right over the heart of the plate, about belt high, and good hitters know exactly what to do with that ball.
So the Blue Jays are threatening early here against Scott Feldman. 2 on, 2 outs for Lyle Overbay. Overbay 2 for 3 in last night's game. He also walked. That's on the first pitch and fouls it back over the screen.
Texas Rangers, I think, have a pretty decent pitching staff, but they haven't showed it one time against the Blue Jays this year.
Feldman, and you're talking about Rich Harden, C.J. Wilson, now Cliff Lee. I mean, those are some pretty good pitchers, but the Blue Jays have looked very comfortable against them this year. They have outscored them 48-26.
Bouncing ball to first. It's a fair ball. Moreland will flip to Feldman, covering the bag, and the Rangers will get out of the first. Feldman strands a pair. Just 9 pitches for the big right-hander. We've played one here at Rogers Center. For 15 season, and this will give you an idea why.
Ball down and away, and he can pull it. Probably one of the best bad ball hitters that we have seen in a long, long time in the big leagues. He's got great plate coverage. It doesn't matter what type of pitch it is. Guerrero can reach it and hit it hard from foul line to foul line.
He's absolutely worn out the Blue Jays this year, 14 for 24. The good news is there hasn't been many base runners on. He's only driven in 4. Markham misses with the fastball outside.
We talked about the batting average here at the Rogers Center. He has the highest career batting average of any visiting player. 351.
Pops that one back out of play. Take a look at Vladdy Guerrero, who started out his career in Montreal with the Expos. You see, he played 500 games nearly in Montreal, hitting .351 in his 46 games at Toronto. Incredible.
With great production.
Bounces this one to Escobar at short. Plenty of time, and he guns across the diamond.
The Jays on Rogers Sportsnet, brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Beautiful night in Toronto. Nelson Cruz down into the 5th spot in the order tonight. Pops up the first pitch behind home plate. Buck flips the mask off. 2 outs.
The more familiar number 5 hole for Nelson Cruz. He hit 30 yesterday's game. That's the first time in his career that he has hit in the 3rd slot. Didn't look very comfortable. And Markham didn't make him look comfortable in that at bat.
Markham's retired 5 straight to start the game. Really interesting, the contrasting styles. You see Cecil on Sunday, Romero on Monday, and then you get Markham. And it's a real change in styles. Certainly the Rangers got to see Ricky Romero. Now they're going to deal with the right-handed offerings of Sean Markham.
We got to touch on that a little bit in the opening about the 2 left-handers and how well they have done this year. Just the 4th time in Blue Jays history that they've had at least 2 left-handers win 12 games in a season. They have different type styles also. Romero's got outstanding stuff, and Cecil's more of a fastball changeup type of pitcher.
Cesar relies more on his sinking fastball. And he will have quick innings with ground ball outs. Ricky Romero has the ability to rack up the strikeouts with his curveball, his fastball, and a great changeup.
So what does that mean to batters? Well, you can't really sit on the same type of pitcher in a series. See the Blue Jays in a quick 3-game series, you're going to see 3 different types of styles of pitching, and it makes it very hard for hitters to get locked in.
1-2. Driven to center field, but not deep. Vernon Wells will cruise over to his right and make the catch. Markham's dealing just 8 pitches in the second. He's retired all 6 he's faced.
On TV and Blu-ray player. Enter online at hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. Sharp Aquos with Quatron technology. You have to see it to see it.
Vernon Wells talking to John Buck. Wells has already faced Feldman, so maybe he's passing along some information, giving him an idea what to expect. Every pitcher is different on a given night, so you want to hear from players that have already faced a starting pitcher. Aaron Hill starts things out. Cuts on the first pitch. Little cutter off the end of the bat.
That's his bread and butter right there. Scott Feldman, I think if you're going to get him, you got to get him early. Giving up 81 runs this year, 30 of them in the first 2 innings before he starts to settle in. Blue Jays had him on the ropes in the first inning.
Well, a lot of good movement in on the hands of Aaron Hill, and Feldman's out in front. Feldman was the opening day starter, matched up against Sean Markham back on April 5th. Gave up 2 runs to the Blue Jays. Vernon Wells hit a 2-run home run in the first inning. Pretty good start for Feldman overall. 7 innings, 5 hits, just the 3 earned runs allowed. He gave up 2 home runs, a 2-run shot to Wells and a solo home run to Adam Lind.
And he just hasn't been the sharpest pitcher like we saw last year. In fact, he hasn't started a game since July the 24th. Injuries and problems when they sent him to the bullpen. But his stuff is good when he can control it and keep it down.
One of the American League scouts that I really respect told me last year he scouted him and sent reports in that Feldman was close to Roy Halladay. Movement, stuff, and command. That's how good he was last year. Aaron Hill goes too far. Ed Rapuano down at first base rings him up. Second strikeout for Feldman.
You can see the similarities between Feldman and Halladay. Just the look, the size, where they throw from 3/4 angle, creating some good depth in all of his pitches. When he stays down there, and you can see if Aaron Hill went around on this, it certainly did look like it from the side there that Hill went around. You can see why the scout said that he looks a lot like Halladay.
Adam Lind drives it to left field, but it's not that deep. David Murphy backs up a couple of steps. 2 quick outs here in the second. Feldman went 17-8 last year in 31 starts for the Rangers. Even last year, he started out in the bullpen. And then he pitched so well, he fought his way into that rotation, and he became their most reliable starter.
And had a chance to win 20 games, but lost his last 3 starts of the season. Won the opening day assignment in spring training. Got off to a rough start. Was actually moved into the bullpen for 5 outings.
Breaking ball hammered to right field. This ball's carrying. Cruz at the wall. It's gone. Not a home run. The ball stayed in the park, hit the top of the fence, and came back in. And John Buck stops at second. Cito Gaston's going to come out here. That ball hit behind the fence and bounced back into the field of play.
I think you're right. It looked like the players out in the bullpen kind of ducked out of the way, like they were going to be hit by that ball. This is going to be a replay, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right, because the bullpen kind of separated. Cito Gaston said to Tom Hallion, the second base umpire, now Ed Rapuano at first, and they're going to go review it for sure.
Yeah. Just watching the reaction from the players in the bullpen, ducking out of the way, showed me that that ball was going to hit him.
Take another look at it. Cruz gets right to the center, to the right field wall. And look at the outfielder, the bullpen pitchers. Boy, in second look, that looked like it might hit the top of the fence. There's a black railing above the padding, and it never went below the top of the fence.
Yeah, the players were ducking out of the way because they were going to get hit, but it did look like it hit the top.
There's that permanent wall behind the padding, and it looked as if it may have clipped the top of that wall and indeed stayed in the ballpark. John Buck hit the breaking ball deep to right field. That ball really carried.
Yeah, it certainly did. A breaking ball, first pitch breaking ball from Feldman, and he hammered it to right field. A lot of times we see John Buck get the head out, hit that ball to left field. That time he showed some great power the other way. Breaking ball stays on and stays back and has his weight behind that ball. That's where you got that extra carry. And there's the replay again. It's got to clear the wall.
You can see it hit top of the fence. It looks to have stayed inside the ballpark. Let's check in with Sam Cosentino.
Well, Buck, the situation here is one umpire stays out in the field to make sure things as what we're seeing now, the warm-ups, can take place. And then the 3 umpires go underneath through the same place where the Texas Rangers have their dugout. The Texas Rangers clubhouse is to the left. The umpires' clubhouse is to the right. On the runway up between those two is a very small booth located with drapes surrounding it. All 3 umpires will go in there, review the call with many angles as possible, and then this.
Calling it a home run, Tom Hallion with the call. They went in, looked at the replay. John Buck is credited with the home run, his 17th of the season. A 2-run home run, and again the Blue Jays jump out on top. The 12th home run the Blue Jays have hit against the Texas Rangers here at Rogers Center this year. Feldman comes right back with a strike to get ahead of Travis Snyder. 17 home runs for Buck, just one off his career high. Talked to Vernon Wells before the at-bat and thanked Vernon for the information.
Good information. John Buck, you can see the Texas Rangers throw him breaking balls first pitch, and he was sitting all over that curveball.
Ball and a strike to Travis Snyder. 2 down here in the second. Off the end of the bat. From Blue Jays, Cito Gaston said in spring training he thought he had 6 guys on his team that could hit 20 home runs. Well, right now he's got 7 that have hit 15 or more. That's better than the Yankees and the Reds.
Big slugging teams like the Yankees and Cincinnati, Boston Red Sox. It's the Blue Jays with the most.
Feldman comes back and strikes out Travis Snyder, and he would strike out 2 in the inning, but the opposite field home run off the bat of John Buck has put the Blue Jays out on top. See the pitcher's hand that's on that wood railing. That is the platform that the pitchers sit on, and that is behind the fence. So when it hit that platform behind the fence, that is truly over the wall and out of the ballpark.
There is a gap between the wall and where the pitchers sit. Cleared the wall, hit the back wall, hit that piece of board.
Matt Trainer lifts it into right field. That's going to get down in front of Dwayne Wise. First hit of the ball game for Texas.
Little Texas leaguer for Matt Trainer right off the end of the bat in front of Dwayne Wise for their first hit. First base runner allowed by Sean Markham.
Andres Blanco, the shortstop. He was 1 for 3 in last night's game. He scored a run. Had a good run over his last 10 games, filling in for Elvis Andrews. Andrews, the shortstop, still dealing with a hamstring problem. So he's unavailable. There goes Trainer playing hit and run. Ron Washington trying to spark the offense. Don't generally expect to see the catcher take off on the first pitch, but they're playing hit and run, trying to get something going.
It's a team that's been getting a lot of base runners, and they've been getting a lot of base hits, but they haven't been scoring a lot of runs. Yesterday, 3 for 13 with runners in scoring position. They also left 10 runners on base. So you try and make something happen with the bottom of your lineup.
Blanco showing bunt, pulls the bat back, a ball and a strike. Washington grew up in the Kansas City Royals organization, went to Minnesota. Teams that always emphasized the fundamentals of winning baseball, advancing the runner, putting the bunt in play. Then he later on coached for Oakland, third base coach and infield instructor. So he knows what to do with the fundamentals of the game. It's just to get his team to execute. Cut on and missed.
You know what it also does, I think, is it gives your offense the mindset of being aggressive. I think you can't sit back and let something happen. I think you have to go out there and make something with your offense. And if you have that aggressive approach at the plate, if it's hitting and running, if it's stealing bases, if it's going from first to third, that mindset can really carry you a long way offensively.
Bounced foul outside of first. Well, you have to change your thinking a little bit when you don't have Josh Hamilton in your lineup. 361 hitter. Has 183 hits, 40 doubles, 31 home runs, and driven in 97. That's a big void as Hamilton continues to deal with bruised ribs.
You mentioned Andrews also. He's been a very clutch player for him. He's got one of the highest batting average with runners on base. He's got some team speed.
He scored 77 runs for the Rangers, and he is also sorely missed in this lineup. A ball and 2 strikes. Held on to by John Buck. Check in with Sam Cosentino.
Well, it's another edition of BlackBerry Tweeting Tuesdays here at the Rogers Center. Follow the Blue Jays on Twitter at twitter.com/Blue Jays. At Blue Jays, looking for an MVT, a most valuable tweeter. Participate and help decide which follower will be tonight's winner. We've got trivia for you. If you submit your questions, Pat or Buck may have the opportunity to choose those and answer them. There's prizes to be won, so make sure you participate in BlackBerry Tweeting Tuesday all night long.
One out now with a runner at first base. Bourbon takes a strike. Bourbon did not play in last night's game against Ricky Romero.
Got off to a really rocky start this year, did Bourbon. April and May was just a disaster for the young player, but he has really come along, and he has seen that batting average now get up to a very respectable 271.
7 of his last 14 hits have been extra base hits. Something the Rangers could use right now. And continue to struggle to score runs. Cued off the end of the bat into the Blue Jays dugout.
You know, that's really not his game, the extra base hits. I think it eventually come, because if you watch him and as he grows into his body, his swing is very good. His game is built around speed. Just has 17 extra base hits this year. Speed and If he can get that on-base percentage up a little bit more, you'll probably see him hitting closer to the top of the lineup.
Markham ahead 0-2. Trainer at first. Cued off the end of the bat. Backhanded by Bautista. Bourbon can run. No chance at first. Not much Bautista could have done with that. It's an infield hit cued off the end of the bat for Bourbon.
They had really shifted around for Bourbon. Look how far off the line that Bautista is playing. No chance to get the runner at second base. Really no chance to get Bourbon at first base. But what that did, knocking that ball down, that kept the double play in order.
Back to the top of the order, Ian Kinsler. With 2 on and 1 out. Down and away. Kinsler's had some success against Markham. He's now 4 for 9. He's also homered against the Blue Jays right-hander. Pop this one up on the infield. Markham's calling for it. Now Overbay calls him off, and Overbay makes the catch. 2 outs.
You could win an all-new Honda CRZ and other great prizes when you vote for the Honda Play of the Month. Vote today at BlueJays.com.
Now Markham gets Kinsler to pop up. Michael Young was a strikeout victim his first time up. Markham got him with a changeup. Blue Jays lead it 1-0 on yet another home run. John Buck with his 17th.
You know, the last time we saw a pop-up where a pitcher wanted to catch it, Lyle Overbay collided with Brian Talent. The same thing looked like it was going to happen, but this time John Buck is screaming who the ball is. There is Buck right there, making like the traffic cop, telling Sean Markham, hey, let your first baseman take this one easily.
Ball on a strike to Young. As we used to say on the infield, let the sure man have it.
Ball wasn't really hit that high, but John Markham right away went ahead and said, okay, I got that one. But
now, John Buck did the right thing.
Yep.
And he certainly got in a position so everybody could hear him. Ball on a strike. Fastball down low. Two outs here in the third inning. Trainer singled, little looper into right field. That started the inning, and then with 1 out, Julio Bourbon got an infield hit to third. Well, that changeup, Michael Young, as good as he is, he sees that terrific arm action and is way out in front.
Well, we were talking about in that scouting report how deceptively quick Markham is, and then he'll throw that little changeup at you. Young can turn around anybody's fastball. He can hit any pitch up there, and he uses the whole field. But so far, his first couple of bats tonight, he has been really fooled by that changeup.
Could have been harder, but off the plate, and Young chases. Second time he struck out tonight. Sean Markham strands a pair of base runners. Good cut fastball away, gets Young.
Tonight, at K. Ryan asks Pat Tabler for our tweeting trivia question of the game. Hey, Pat, were you ever called up to the expanded roster in September early in your career? What's it like for a young player to be called up, and what do you focus on when called up? That's our BlackBerry Tweeting Tuesday first trivia question of the game.
Yes, actually a couple of times. In 1981, right after the strike, you remember that, and then the next year in 82, called up in September. For a young player, your head is just swimming. You finally feel like you've made it to the big leagues. You're there. And the things that you're focusing on is, can I help the team if we are in a pennant race? And for me, it was like, okay, now I've made it here. Can I succeed here? And that's the biggest question I think a lot of these young guys are wondering right now.
Dwayne Wise, is the count in his favor, 2-0. I think that's the question everybody has. Once you get here, you get in awe, obviously, of being in the big leagues, but then you try to figure out how you can stay here. One thing you don't want to do is do anything stupid. So the veterans can get on you.
Yeah, you just keep your mouth shut, right? Better be seen than heard. Say something stupid.
I had a great long-time coach who was with the Indians for a long time. George Strickland was one of my first coaches in Kansas City. And in looking back, he was a godsend for me. 2-2 to Wise popped out of play. He called me John my first year in '69. He said, John, let me tell you something that you should always remember. Better to be silent and thought a fool than to open one's mouth and remove all doubt. I wrote it on my locker. 2-2 to Wise. Lifted into center field. Not that deep. Bone comes in. A couple of steps more, and he makes the catch.
You know, it's funny when you talk about those kind of things. You always remember your first year. I remember in AAA, you know, I had a routine batting practice where I hit. And in the minor leagues, you never take your bat. You keep it wherever you go. So I would run with it around the bases because who knows who would pick it up. You only get one down in the minor leagues. Well, I continued that on to Chicago in September. I would take my batting practice and run around the bases with my bat. And John Vukovich looked at me and said, son, you're not in the minor leagues anymore. We don't do that up here. And I said, John, okay.
Yunel Escobar right back to the mound, and Feldman makes a good play. 2 quick outs. John Vukovich and I were American Legion teammates. He was a legend where I'm from, and a terrific all-sport athlete, great scout. Of course, he's passed away and honored by the Phillies and the Cubs as well. But he was the type of guy you needed on your side, somebody that would come up before you were embarrassed by a veteran player.
You know, a young player always wants that reassurance that somebody likes them. And Vuk was that guy for me when I broke in with the Cubs.
Jose Bautista hitting with 2 outs. Looks at a strike. I think it's a little bit different now for these guys. Most of these guys were with the team in spring training, so they know the players and they know the coaches.
But if you don't, it always makes you feel good as a player when you get recognized. A coach come up, hey, let's go get some extra ground balls, and let's talk about this. It makes you feel like you belong.
2 balls and a strike. Blue Jays are leading 1-0. 2 outs here, bottom of the 3rd inning. Feldman with that 2-seamer runs it back over the outside corner.
Got some good movement on his pitches tonight, this Feldman. Good sinking fastball, and he's got his cutter working in good spots.
Made a good pitch there. He was headed for the dugout. Thought he had caught that inside corner. Full count. Jose Bautista really had to change his entire approach at the plate over the second half of the season, given the fact that American League pitchers are just pitching him much tougher.
Told me the other day, he said, I'm seeing so many breaking balls. They would challenge him early in the season, not anymore.
Goes with that pitch, but there's Kinsler. Positioned perfectly. Bautista hit it on the nose, but Feldman has a 1-2-3 third inning.
Twitter question of the game goes to Buck Martinez. At TSayKY asks, Buck, have you noticed the change in how teams are pitching Bautista lately? What should his approach be at the plate to continue his success?
Well, Sam, that certainly leads into our conversation from the last half inning, and I think the one thing is Jose Bautista's not seeing as many fastballs. David Murphy fouls it outside of first. I think the league now recognizes he's a terrific fastball hitter, and whenever they have to, if they throw him a fastball, it's going to be on the edges, both sides.
Right. If he's going to get one, it's not going to be a strike unless it's a mistake. They have tried different things to him, and to his credit, he's really laid off a lot of those pitches that are borderline.
When you look at the second half of his season, it's been remarkable that he's been able to improve his averages dramatically as he's had.
Just hasn't had too much to work with. Didn't realize what a good eye he has at the plate. Second in the American League now in base on balls.
Reached base safely 18 straight games. 2-2. David Murphy hitting third here tonight. Trying to get the Rangers going in the fourth inning. Down the left field line. That's a fair ball. Bounces out of play into the seats. Murphy does get things started for Texas with a ground rule double.
Sean Markham has really handled left-handed batters this year. Just a 182 average against him. This time Murphy not real sure where that ball was as he inside outs it, and it stays fair just by a couple of feet. Trickles into the stands. Way to hold on to that hot dog.
What a play. Didn't even drop any mustard. A one-hander. So Murphy's aboard. Vladdy Guerrero. Grounded to short his first time up. Drills this ball to left field, and you can forget about this one. A two-run shot to the second deck in left field, and Guerrero has put the Rangers on top 2-1.
Home run number 26 for Vladimir Guerrero, and that's a no doubt about it right there. RBI is 101 and 102. Sean Markham tried to get ahead of him very quickly, and Guerrero very quickly with that bat. Watch how fast he gets it through the zone and finishes. I love his finish.
Got that bat back over his back shoulder and just commits everything to every swing. He erases the 1-0 deficit with one swing of the bat. So Markham has to regroup against Nelson Cruz. For Guerrero, his 2400 hit is a home run. This ball is driven to right field, but Wise has got plenty of room, and he makes the catch.
There was a lot of free agent signings this winter by a lot of the clubs. John Lackey comes to mind of Boston. Can you think of a better signing than what the Texas Rangers did with Guerrero?
No. And I think when they signed him, everybody kind of said, well, you know, he's not going to be able to do too much, and he'll wilt in that Texas heat, and he won't be able to put up the good numbers. 26 and 102. Anybody will take that.
Got 25 games to play.
2,400 hits for Vladdy Guerrero. He is 10th on the active hit leaderboard. Derek Jeter leads that category. Jeter has 2,897 hits. Pulled to first base. Overbay will go to the bag. And Moreland's retired. Catcher Matt Trainer got the first hit of the night for Texas. Little blooper into right field. Started the third inning, but Markham would strand a pair of base runners. Fastball evens the count at a ball and a strike. Trainer's late on a fastball, and Markham gets ahead 1-2.
Markham has been pitching some of his best baseball of the season, his last 4 outings, again, but hasn't really had a lot to show for it. Been matched up against the other team's #1 his last 4 times out.
He gets Matt Trainer to end the inning. But the leadoff double by David Murphy set up Vladdy Guerrero's home run. Texas leads it 2-1.
Quatron TV Plus Blu-ray player. Quatron, it's 4 colors, not 3. To enter, visit hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. That's hitahomerunwithsharp.ca.
John Buck, Sean Markham. Probably trying to figure out what to do with Vladdy Guerrero.
You pitch him in there, he can hit it. Pitch him down and away, it doesn't matter.
Fellas, there have been a lot like you that have had to try to figure out the same thing. Vernon Wells had a single in the first inning. Feldman pushes him back with a fastball, a ball and a strike. 2-1 ball game here, bottom of the fourth inning. Long drive to left field. You can forget about this one. Fourth deck for Vernon Wells.
This season against the Texas Rangers, Vernon Wells and Jose Bautista have done a lot of damage. That's 10 home runs between them against the Texas Rangers, and this was no doubt right in the sweet swing of Vernon Wells, and watch where it landed. It got out in a hurry, landed up in the fourth deck.
Monster home run for Wells, and just like that, we're tied at 2.
Ron Washington was talking before the game. What do you have to do against Toronto? If you are the Texas Rangers, keep the ball in the ballpark. Something that they haven't been able to do the first 2 games here.
It's the 13th home run the Blue Jays have hit against the Rangers in the 5 games they've played in this ballpark this year. They are wearing them out.
Says that's all they have to do. Keep it in the ballpark and you have a chance.
0-2 to Overbay off the plate. 8 of the last 9 runs the Blue Jays have scored on home runs. The 9th run, Vernon Wells scored on a wild pitch in the second inning of last night's game. One and two. Foul.
I think Wash knows what he's talking about when he's talking about the Blue Jays. Just keep it in the ballpark and you have a chance.
Well, the Blue Jays have really had the Rangers numbered this year. They've won 6 out of the first 7. Breaking ball got Overbay. Let's check in with Sam Cosentino.
Thanks to that Vernon Wells home run here in the 4th inning, Sharp has awarded one lucky winner a 40-inch Quatron TV and Blu-ray player. Quatron, you have to see it to see it. To see if you've won or to enter, visit hitahomerunwithsharp.ca.
Now, home runs have been the theme for the Blue Jays. Over their last 9 games, they've homered in 9 straight games, pounding out 18 home runs. Broken bat, one hopper to shortstop. Blanco has it. Right on the money to Moreland, and Hill's retired.
We were talking before the game. We looked up how many players have hit 25 home runs this year. There's been 25 players. If Aaron Hill hits a couple of more, Blue Jays would have 3.
25 in the majors.
In the whole major, not just the American League.
Yeah, 25 is a big number. I mean, a few years ago, 25 you'd look down your nose at, but 25 is legit. And Hill has 23 with 24 more games to go.
That is saying something right there. Adam Lynn's got a shot at it also. He's got 19 home runs. 6 more. Blue Jays could have 4.
Last September, Lynn hit 8 home runs in September and October. There's a shot to right field. Cruz is back. Cruz at the wall. That's going to die on the warning track. Adam Lynn just missed it. But another home run off Scott Feldman. He has now allowed 8 home runs for the Blue Jays. Vernon Wells goes deep. 2-2 Blue Jays.
Rogers Sportsnet. Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
We talked about more fireworks here tonight. The Blue Jays have homered twice more in this series. They've hit 5 against Texas so far. Vladdy Guerrero, a 2-run shot of his own in the 4th, and we are tied at 2. Andres Blanco, the shortstop, struck out his first time up. A ball on the strike. Sean Markham back in a tie ball game.
I remember talking to Sean Markham in the spring training when he was announced that he would be the opening day pitcher. And I asked him about, what do you think about facing all these number ones that you're going to be facing throughout the year, especially the first month of the season? And remember, this guy didn't pitch at all last year. He said, well, I think pitching against these good pitchers makes me a better pitcher. And I'm talking about matching up against Verlander and Lester and Sabathia and some of these. David Price, he's pitched against him a lot this year. Keeps facing them. Markham keeps pitching good baseball. Last 4 decisions, he's had 4 starts, he's had 4 no decisions. It's got to wear on you, though, don't you think?
Nah, you know what? I think it's great. I think Markham is capable of handling the challenge. You look at his last 4 starts, a total of 5 runs of support. But then you look at who he's pitching against, and I think that's what Sean Markham feeds off of. That competition to beat the best, and he's been matched up against David Price 3 times this year. And I think that's great, and he's the one guy that was probably experienced enough to handle that. And I think that's why Cito Gaston put him in that spot. This ball has popped up, and it's going to drift back behind the dugout.
I think he feeds off of it also, that confidence, wanting to pitch against Felix Hernandez from Seattle and some of these other really good, Zach Greinke from Kansas City. I think that takes his game to the next level. I guess in those situations, you can't worry too much about one-loss record. It would drive you batty if you pitch great ball games and don't have a W to show for it.
Blanco swings and misses that changeup. Markham with 5 strikeouts now. Second time he's gotten Blanco tonight. Well, one thing I remember about Markham, when it was announced he was going to be the opening day starter, and somebody asked him about defining the role of the ace. He said, well, you pitch first. You try to beat the other team's number 1 starter, and you try to make the pitchers around you better. To me, that says everything about Sean Markham.
Mission accomplished.
I think that was a true definition that he has taken to the next level on this ball club, because he indeed wants his starting partners to be better. And I think the competition among the 5 has really made them all better. And it's a friendly competition, and we showed you Ricky Romero and Brett Cecil at the start of the game. They truly care about each other. They want each other to have success at the same time, competing to outdo one another.
Pitchers have games within themselves also. If you have a 4-pitch walk, you can get fined. There's all those little games that they still do that today. Markham is the head honcho with all the starters.
Remember the great Braves staffs? First pitch strikes for Smoltz, Glavine, and Maddox. See how many first pitch strikes they could throw in the course of the game. You talk about you can't worry about wins and losses. How about Felix Hernandez? 1 earned run in his last 6 starts.
Did he finally get over 500? I know about 2 weeks ago he was leading the American League in earned run average, up there in strikeouts, and he had a record under 500.
He's 11-10.
Oh, he's up to 11-10. All right.
He's on fire. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Bourbon. But there's not much you can do about that, obviously. I mean, Jack Morris, another guy that comes to mind, and I still believe Morris should be in the Hall of Fame, but he pitched to the score. If he was ahead 8, he'd give up 6. If he was ahead 1, he wouldn't give up any. Just figured out a way to win. 2 balls in 2 strikes, and Bourbon wants time. But we mentioned also how important it is for the Jays to finish up on a high note. 500 is a realistic goal. Late on a fastball. 6 strikeouts now for Markham.
Do you think he was sitting on a changeup here? He singled off of the changeup last time. Markham this is pitching. He's going to cross him up and just blow an 87-mile-an-hour fastball by Bourbon. A little emergency hack. Can't come up with it. That's what pitching's all about. Take a little off, put a little on, move the ball around the strike zone.
Two outs now, back to the top of the order. Ian Kinsler. First pitch strike. Why, that is true. It's all about the pitcher's awareness. Picking up on what a hitter's trying to do and counteracting that.
Sean probably said, well, how did Bourbon foul off that last changeup? Because that was a good one, the one he just cued right off the end of the bat. That little hint right there told him he's looking for it, so he just threw the fastball by him.
Missed with the fastball. 2-1 to Kinsler. It's just the second time this year Kinsler has hit in the leadoff spot. He's been plagued by injuries all year long. Didn't start the season until April 30th because of an ankle sprain.
Kinsler says he likes hitting in the first inning. I think that's where I am at my best. Ron Washington likes to see him up there because he knows that if he sees a pitch that he can get, he can give you 1 run very quickly.
This won't come with that fastball. That's got to be a great feeling, knowing you can throw that changeup any count, anytime, and just about anywhere you want to.
Ahead or behind, and that's just a small piece, a small sampling of some of the pitches that Markham can throw at you.
Got him. 89 miles an hour, his best fastball of the night. Markham strikes out the side in the 5th. Kinsler late on a high fastball. We're tied at 2.
Counting for 10 earned runs. He was the opening day pitcher, a game that Toronto would lose to. And then he pitched here and gave up 5 earned runs in a game that they would lose 6-0. 5 home runs, 10 earned runs, and 18 innings pitched.
John Buck hit a home run his first time up. Jumps on the first pitch. Buck hit a breaking ball, looked like a curveball to the opposite field, hit it right in front of the Texas Ranger bullpen. The ball bounced back into the field of play. The umpires initially ruled it a double, and then they went to the video replay and reversed the call on the field and called it a home run. This ball is driven to center field and deep, but Bourbon slows up right before the warning track and makes the catch.
You could win an all-new Honda CRZ and other great prizes when you vote for the Honda Play of the Month. Vote today at BlueJays.com.
Back here at Rogers Center, it is 2-2 with one out, bottom of the fifth. Travis Snyder off the end of the bat, out of play.
You were talking about that John Buck at bat the first time up. Looked like a little looping curveball. That's a pitch that he just shows. Feldman will show batters. A little curveball and a little changeup. That one was get me over. Let's see if John Buck will swing at it.
There's a base hit into left field for Snyder. He stayed on that sinking fastball and took it the other way.
And since that curveball, I can't recall another one that he has thrown. So they have taken that away from him. And now it's fastball, cutter, changeup. This one going down and away. And Travis Snyder stayed right on top of that one. He was telling me today that that's been the biggest thing that he's had to work on this year. The improvement of these pitchers are so good. And they always make adjustments. Me being able to figure out what those pitchers are trying to do to you.
It's a fine line between trying to cover up your weaknesses or focus on your strengths. Dwayne Wise pulls that cutter foul. Now, oftentimes, and I'm sure we talk about Lynn and talk about Hill, Cito Gaston said Lee's going to pitch you tough. At the end of last year, he told them both, be ready for some changes. But I think in Hill's case, he tried to change the style of hitter that he was and went away from his strength.
One of the adjustments that they were making where everything was away.
Wise into center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Snyder thinks about third. Good aggressive turn, but he stops at second. Wise just keeps on getting the hits.
Do a little bit of something if your name is called. If you are an extra player, and Dwayne Wise really has been doing it all season long. He's had some big games for the Blue Jays this year. That time pokes that ball into center field.
Mike Maddox, the pitching coach, is out talking to trainer and to Feldman. Probably talking a little bit about, hey, where's the curveball, boys? You got to mix that back into the mix. Just change their sight levels again. Everything is down. Everything is moving to both sides of the plate. Let's bring that back into the mix.
Well, it certainly was working the first few innings here tonight. Threw the looper to Buck, he homered, and now we've seen cutters and sinkers.
Mike Maddox, of course, the older brother of Greg Maddox. He knows his pitching for sure. Loves to put game plans together and does a great job. Michael Kirkman, the young left-hander who's gotten up to a great start to his major league career, starts to loosen up. Rangers have 4 left-handers in their bullpen at this time. Junel Escobar with a single in 2 at-bats. Blue Jays trying to break the 2-2 tie. Off the end of the mound. Slow bounce ball to a short. First base is the only play. Blanco throws out Escobar. The runners move up.
This is going to be a very interesting at bat now. Jose Bautista is coming up with first base open. A couple of runners on, and a very hot hitter who has just crushed Ranger pitching in the on-deck circle. This will be interesting to see if Feldman if he attacks Bautista or pitches around him.
The percentages suggest you don't throw anything close to Bautista, even though Vernon Wells has a single and a homer. Bautista is due. 43 home runs. Been shut down recently. But I would suggest they're not going to throw anything over the heart of the plate, try to get him to chase. They've got a base to work with. Off the plate outside. Vernon Wells on deck. Hit his 26th home run in the fourth. Off the plate again.
To his credit, Jose Bautista has not expanded the strike zone in these situations. He has waited for that pitcher to come to him.
An off-speed pitch ran back over the plate. 2 balls and a strike.
You know, it can get very easy as a hitter to get frustrated when you don't have anything to hit, especially when you want to drive in runs and you start swinging at pitches that aren't your strength.
Got a good pitch to hit, popped it back toward the screen. Trainer is at the screen, and it's over the backstop. Had a pretty good pitch to hit right there and got underneath it.
Challenged him. It looked like he tried to throw one of those sinkers off the inner half. Jose was just a little tardy.
Can drive in 2 with a single. Vernon Wells, 2 for 2. Breaking ball in the dirt. Full count.
One of the problems that Feldman has had this year, when runners get on base, he hasn't been able to figure out how to get out of innings. With runners on, hitters are hitting .325 against him this year.
Snyder's at third. He's singled. Wise at second. He too had a base hit. Three-two pitch to Bautista. Line drive to the gap. Nobody's going to get this ball. 2 runs are going to come in to score. Off the wall in right center. Bautista thinking about third, stops at second. He drives home 2 with the opposite field double.
That's what RBI men do. They pick up clutch 2-out RBIs when you have runners in scoring position. Watch him go down and get this one. Down and away. Instead of trying to pull it, he stays right on it. His strength is from gap to gap, middle of the field. When he does that, he can drive in lots and lots of runs. This is double number 31 for Bautista. What a clutch 2-out hit.
He went with what Feldman gave him, threw something away and didn't try to muscle it out of the ballpark.
And it continues for Feldman also. Runners on base, .325. Bautista comes through with a big hit.
Vernon Wells hit a monster home run to lead off the fourth.
Watch where this pitch lands. That is, you can't put it on a tee any better for Vernon Wells to hit it. And it lands over in the fourth deck, no doubt about it. The ball was climbing. Now 26 home runs for Vernon Wells. And they're not even going to give him a chance.
Can't hardly blame him with the base open. He's 2 for 2. They've got a left-hander ready in the bullpen. Mike Maddox just checking with the pen. Andy Hawkins is the bullpen coach. Hawkins giving instructions, and Bautista just stole third.
How about that for heads up?
And Ron Washington is going to bring the left-hander in. But Jose Bautista, during the intentional walk, and trainer saying, turn around and look at Bautista. Scott Feldman never saw Bautista break for third. What a heads-up play. Scott Feldman, another rough night at the hands of the Blue Jays. He'll turn things over to the Ranger bullpen. Michael Kirkman when we come back. Four runs on 7 hits. 2 base runners on base are his responsibility, and he will leave in favor of young Michael Kirkman.
Kirkman, 6'4", 195. He will turn 24 years old next week. Good numbers and a good start to his big league career. He was named the PCL Pitcher of the Year on Thursday. He's got a good fastball, slider, curveball, and a change.
This pitching change is brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. Lyle Overbay. Breaking ball outside from Kirkman.
We were talking during the break about that stolen base by Bautista. You know what it does? They have to hold the runner on at first base now. With him stealing third base, giving Lyle Overbay a chance to maybe pull one through the right side for an RBI.
And the breaking ball misses upstairs. Kirkman threw 2 breaking balls and really just kind of slow sweeping breaking balls that missed the strike zone. Two and 0 to Overbay. 3-0.
That breaking ball that you were just talking about, he was ranked within the Rangers organization this year as having one of the better breaking balls within their minor league system. Struck out 130 batters in 131 innings in AAA this year.
There's a fastball, 3-1. Bautista at third, Wells at first. 2 outs, 2 runs in. Blue Jays have taken a 4-2 lead. He walked them. The bases are loaded. Hey fans, the bases are loaded, and we're only 1 swing away from awarding a 60-inch Sharp Marquis Quatron TV. Quatron, for colors never before seen on TV. To enter, visit hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. 2 of those 3 base runners are Scott Feldman's responsibility.
Probably a little quick scouting report from pitching coach Mike Maddox to Aaron Hill. He knows how important this at-bat is for his team.
What do you look for if you're Hill in this first pitch situation?
Fastball inside, something that I can handle, something that I can hit hard. You're not going up there just trying to massage the ball anywhere. You are looking for one pitch in one zone right here.
Bases are loaded. 2 outs. Off the plate outside. Hill with a 2-run home run in the 3rd inning in yesterday's game.
You know what's crazy about the Blue Jays this year? They have all of these home runs, and we've been talking about it from the first day. How many grand slams are within all those 212? Two. 2 grand slams all season long. You would think they'd be up to about 7 or 8 with all the home runs that they have hit this year.
Popped up, but that'll float back into the seats and out of play. Two balls and a strike. Michael Kirkman out of the bullpen. Breaking ball just finds the top of the strike zone. Two balls, 2 strikes. Breaking ball, Hill goes down swinging. No foul tip, Hill's out. Kirkman comes on and strands the bases loaded. Good breaking ball gets it, but the Blue Jays take the lead 4-2. He has had his changeup working all night long. Gets Michael Young to end the first. David Murphy. Blanco struck out twice. Young again. The changeup and cutter has been a great combination for Sean Markham.
You know, that's true, but he's also pitching. I think he's realizing what the Rangers are trying to do to him. He's making the adjustments. He is pitching. Look at these numbers through 5 innings. 8 strikeouts and no walks for Sean Markham. His career high was set back in 2007 for strikeouts in a game of 11.
Been staked to a 2-run lead here. Michael Young fouls that first pitch off. Well, Markham's doing a good job of taking that pitch further and further away from Michael Young, and the Ranger third baseman continues to go after it.
You know, when you watch Michael Young hit, he stays way off the plate. Doesn't look like he can reach that outside pitch, but if you miss, Markham's done a good job of staying out there, like you said. If you miss, he can hit it. If he stays out there, throws a good pitch, and gets the first out.
Little dribbler to first base, and Michael Young is 0 for 3. David Murphy got the Rangers going in the fourth, hit a double down the left field line. That was ahead of the Vladdy Guerrero 2-run home run. Curveball missed down the stairs. Haven't seen many of those tonight.
You know, he's got so many weapons that he can use. Talk about his changeup, can do different things. He can cut the ball and fastball. He's also got a pretty decent curveball.
Ball on the strike to Murphy. Again, he goes opposite field, but this is going to slice out of play. I would imagine catching Sean Markham is like being a painter with a big palette of colors. And you look on that palette and you go, okay, how about one of these over here, a little bit of that one, and now I'm going to throw a little bit of this one over here on this side. And, oh, yeah, it's about time we haven't used this one over here. And you can do just about anything you want to do.
I would think that it would be a lot of fun if you're really into that, the cerebral part of pitching.
Murphy gets another hit to the opposite field. That high fastball didn't fool him.
Not a bad idea with a couple of strikes. He wanted it up. Watch John Buck, the catcher. He wants this ball up and out, possibly to set something else up. Murphy strokes it into left field.
Bad thing about that is you have a man on with Vladdy Guerrero coming up again. Guerrero homered his last time up, his 26th of the season. Sharply hit shortstop. Escobar to Hill for one. Back to first. Easy double play. They get Guerrero to hit one off the end of the bat. Then Markham leaves the sixth inning with a 2-run lead.
Will be announced a short time from now. Once again, the Twitter trivia question of the game: who holds the Blue Jays record for home runs in a season?
Well, I know two guys who we can scratch off the list.
You and me.
And maybe Rance.
We can scratch Rance off too. That's 3. We know the number's 47. That's for sure. Adam Lynn swings at the first pitch. It's a big 2-hopper to Moreland at first. 1 pitch, 1 out. Jose Bautista didn't hit a home run, but he sure came up with a big hit. An opposite field 2-out double to drive home 2 runs and give the Blue Jays their 4-2 lead. John Buck has contributed as well. His 17th home run started the scoring tonight. Kirkman does have a good breaking ball. He had mentioned how he was rated the best breaking ball in the PCL, and that's what he got Aaron Hill to end the 5th inning with.
Not afraid to throw it either. Ron Washington was talking this year about Kirkland when they brought him up, and they said that we really like his stuff. Explosive fastball, very good breaking ball. Says he also looks like he's got some mound presence. Certainly does.
Well, he's been around a while. This is his 6th year in the Rangers organization. They've done a good job of bringing him along slowly. Last year he made 18 starts at AA after 7 starts in A-ball. Another drive to right field. This ball is hit a ton. Cruz will watch it sail off the wall. Buck will stop at first. Cruz did a heck of a job of playing that ball. Ball bounced right back to the right fielder, and John Buck had to settle for a long single.
You know what he did? He recognized that that ball was going to stay in the ballpark and where it was going to hit off the top of the wall. So he played it beautifully. He's got a very good arm in right field. Buck homered his first time up, sending a ball almost in the same spot to right field. What Cruz gives up on it, knows that it's going to hit off the top of the wall, plays it beautifully on one bounce. John Buck not taking anything for granted, telling that one to stretch up there.
Travis Snyder had an opposite field base hit off Scott Feldman. Cruz is a lot better outfielder than people give him credit for. Played that ball perfectly to keep the double play in order. .245 average for Travis Snyder. There's that life on that fastball. Good explosive fastball, but it missed downstairs.
Originally a 5th round draft pick by the Texas Rangers back in 2005. Starter down in the minor leagues. Now pitching out of the pen.
Good breaking ball. Evens the count at 2-2. Snyder, because of his wrist injury, with just 220 at bats. Bounced over the mound. Kinsler has to come and get it. Has time to get Snyder by half a step.
You could win an all-new Honda CRZ and other great prizes when you vote for the Honda Play of the Month. Vote today at BlueJays.com.
Blue Jays out in front of the Rangers 4-2. Dwayne Wise, the leadoff batter. 1 for 3 so far. He singled and scored a run. Wise had a base hit off Boone Logan in the Yankees series. Logan, a tough left-hander, much like Kirkman. Ball on the strike.
He has only had 9 at bats this year against a left-handed pitcher. Dwayne Wise, a couple of knocks. This is where you make your money right here in these situations.
Lays off the breaking ball. 2 balls and a strike. With the hit tonight in his start, Dwayne Wise has now gone 9 for 19 in his last 5 starts. Good breaking ball. You can see why the Rangers are high on Kirkman.
Not afraid to throw that breaking ball when he is behind. Got plenty of fastball also. 93, that last one.
Base hit down the left field line. John Buck's going to come around third and score. Dwayne Wise is headed to second. 5-3 Blue Jays. Wise with another multi-hit game and an RBI. His 14th.
And another hit off of a tough left-hander. Every time Cito Gaston puts Dwayne Wise in, he does something to help the ball club. Here, picks up a clutch 2-out base hit down the left field line, just out of the reach of Michael Young. That will send John Buck home with Toronto's 5th run.
Boy, what a good at bat. Wise now with 14 ribbies.
It's a very simple approach when you watch him hit. There's hardly any movement. It's a very short swing. That'll help the batting average right there.
Up to 299 now for Wise. Escobar pops it out of play. To mention Wise with 14 RBI, he has done that with just 87 at bats. That's the role of an extra man.
Do something when you are put in there to help your team. Your manager will keep playing you. He's had a great year, I think.
Fastball catches the inside corner. Kirkman leaves Escobar standing at home plate, but the Blue Jays had a run on the opposite field double off the bat of Dwayne Wise. Sean Markham and the Jays lead 5-2.
Question, who holds the Blue Jays record for most home runs in the season? The answer is George Bell. He had 47 in 1987. Congratulations goes out to Scott Robinson of London, Ontario. He has won a Jose Bautista autographed baseball, so we may indeed have the new record holder and an autographed baseball from him. Congratulations, Scott.
Well done, Scott. George Bell with 47 in 1987. Jose Bautista currently with 43 homers. Sean Markham deals a first pitch strike to Nelson Cruz. Bautista with 2 more RBI now. He's up to 105 for the season.
All the while playing third base, playing right field, playing great defense. You don't know how much that plays on your mind. And then to separate that when you step in that batter's box and have great at-bats like he has this season.
Now you make a great point, because when guys aren't really comfortable because of playing time at a particular position, you worry about messing up a ball, making an error.
How about your routine is messed up? You know, you might play 3 weeks out in the outfield and you go through the routine of taking balls off the bat, throwing to different bases, and then you take your batting practice. That's all changed when you come into the infield. Now you're taking ground balls and you're doing this, and you're trying to get your infielders involved with the double play. all the while that routine is all messed up, but he's been able to separate it.
2-2 to Cruz. Breaking ball. He stays back. Full count. Well, you played in the outfield, and you played on corner infields too, and it's a different throwing motion altogether.
Yes. And if you're not comfortable at third base, you just mentioned it about errors or, doing something to hurt your team. It can bring you down, but Bautista has been great.
Full count. Leadoff walk here in the 7th. First walk issued by Markham. He has 8 strikeouts. Been firing strikes all night long. Got a double play off the bat of Vladdy Guerrero to end the 6th inning. Mitch Moreland, rookie, is 0 for 2 tonight. Well, I tell you what, Markham can just play these young hitters with that changeup. Gets them so pumped up to hit the fastball and drops that changeup on them.
You can tell the difference between a young hitter and a veteran hitter when they're facing Sean Markham. We're not real sure what he's going to see from Markham. He was geared for the fastball there. Pulled the string on him.
Trying to get him to chase that fastball. Moreland 0 for 2 tonight. He has now dropped to a 6 for 39 skid. Came up and got off to a good start. He's hit 5 home runs. He made his debut on July 29th. Didn't go fishing after that change.
That's one position that the Rangers have been really trying to solidify this year. We've seen 3 first basemen from them.
Ever since they traded Mark Teixeira, basically.
Yep. Chris Davis was their opening day first baseman. Justin Smoke was their young player that came up, and they used him to get Cliff Lee.
3-1. Moreland does a good job of laying off that off-speed pitch. The catcher, Matt Traynor, is on deck. Rangers trail by 3. Again, Markham working in the 7th inning. Back-to-back walks. First 2 walks of the game issued here in the 7th. Now, Bruce Walton will come out of the dugout. The bullpen has started to loosen up. First 2 reach here in the 7th inning. That brings the potential tying run to the plate.
It's a good visit, I think, right here from Bruce Walton. Sean Markham looks just a little bit out of sync. The way he was finishing his pitches there, as you see Frazier and Carlson quickly starting to get loose down in the bullpen for the Blue Jays. This is where a good pitching coach would tell you, hey, look, this is what I see. Give me some of this right here. John Buck looks like he was doing a lot of the talking also in that meeting at the mound.
Well, this time of the year, their rosters have expanded, and Christian Guzman, a veteran middle infielder, a switch hitter, he will come to the plate as a pinch hitter. His first pinch hitting appearance for the Rangers. He's only had 43 at-bats. Those are his numbers with the Nationals and the Rangers. Guzman was one of the many players the Rangers picked up midstream, trying to fortify their pennant drive here. Another ball issued by Markham. Guzman came up in the Minnesota Twins organization. Had a couple of good years with the Washington Nationals. Showing bunt and takes a strike.
Veteran player. Doesn't hit into a lot of double plays. I think it's why Ron Washington has him up there. Trainer could get the ball on the ground and Markham could get a double play. Guzman's got some pretty decent speed at the age of 32. Puts the ball in play, slaps it around.
Slapped this one foul behind the Blue Jays dugout. Guzman started with the Yankees and went to Minnesota in that Chuck Knobloch deal. Guzman and Eric Milton, a left-handed pitcher, were the key members of the Yankees that went to Minnesota in exchange for Knobloch, the second baseman.
12 years now in the big leagues. He's also been an all-star a couple of times. He has definitely seen this situation before. Late in the game, his club needing base runners.
Bounced on the ground. Escobar will step on the bag at second. Throw to first. Double play. Taylor made double play. Escobar took it right to the bag. Forced the runner at second and gunned down Guzman at first.
Sometimes as a manager, every string that you pull just doesn't work out. Guzman does not ground into a lot of double plays. That's why he was up there. The only way they were going to get him if he hit a roller like that where one of the middle infielders can grab it and make the throw. That one backfired on Ron Washington, and Markham gets a big double play.
Two big double plays tonight. That one and the one that ended the sixth with Vladdy Guerrero at bat. Cruz is at third. Andres Blanco has struck out twice tonight. First pitch strike for Markham. This is where Markham knows this is probably his last inning. Reach back for a little extra, make a good pitch, and walk off the field with a 3-run lead.
You know, he was so efficient at the beginning of the ball game. You were mentioning 7-pitch innings, 8-pitch innings. He hasn't even gotten to 90 pitches yet.
But there have been a couple of stressful situations going back to the Guerrero double play. 89 pitches with 2 outs here in the 7th. Economical.
He's gotten Blanco a couple of times tonight with good changeup. Does he change up here and try and throw a fastball?
0-2. Beat him with a fastball. 88. Looked like 98.
So tough to sit on one pitch when you've got a guy out there who can change speeds like that with that dramatic mile-per-hour difference.
But the fastball is the ego pitch. No one wants to get beat by the fastball, and that makes you vulnerable to Markham's changeup. Changeup, broken back, base it into right field. Cruz comes in to score. It's 5-3 Toronto. Blanco got enough of it to hit it into right field. Looked like Overbay just tipped it off the end of his glove.
He needed a couple of more inches off the end of the bat. Hit softly by Blanco, and here is Lyle Overbay. Yep, right off the tip of his glove and softly into right field.
That double play now looms even larger. Julio Bourbon. First pitch strike. Sometimes it's not about the number of pitches you throw, but about the situations you throw them in. It can be a little more taxing. Bautista in front of the baseline at third, guarding against the bunt. Oh, 2.
I agree with you about the stressful pitches. The last couple of innings haven't been the breezy type of innings we saw through the first couple frames tonight. Double plays have been a big part of it. behind Sean Markham tonight.
0-2. Sneaks under the legs of Buck, but Blanco wasn't sure where the ball was. He had to hold on at first. Greg Maddux always talked about the number of pitches. He said a number can be very deceiving. He said, I can breeze at 130 if I'm never in a stressful situation, or be worn out after 70.
Pitching to the middle of the lineup with runners on base.
Nothing ball game. Tough lineup, always grinding to make a good pitch. A ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Popped into center field. Routine play for Vernon Wells, and Markham leaves another base runner. Sean Markham with 7 strong innings. He's held the Rangers to 3 runs on 6 hits. Blue Jays up by 2. Neutralized a dangerous Ranger lineup, holding the Rangers to just 3 runs on 6 hits. And he leaves after 7 innings, in line for his 12th win.
Taking over on the mound for the Texas Rangers, Darren O'Day. 63 games that he has pitched in. This will tie his record that he set last year as a Ranger when he pitched in 64 games. 4.2, 151 earned run average. O'Day's got a lot of deception in his side-arming delivery.
New pitcher, new catcher. Benji Molina comes in defensively after Guzman hit for Matt Train. Jose Bautista, big 2-out, 2-run double his last time up. Breaking ball in there. 105 RBI. He trails Miguel Cabrera by 5 in that department. Second in the American League. Way outside, 2-1.
You can see O'Day comes from down under. Sinks it, slider. He's got pretty good command with that sidearm delivery. He's only walked 11 batters in his 63 appearances this year. It's got to be awfully tough for a right-hander to try and pick up that slider.
O'Day has bounced around. He was originally signed as a non-drafted free agent by the Angels back in 2006, signed by the great scout Tom Kochman. throw it around as if it was strike three. I don't think the umpire has indicated anything other than a ball. Benji Molino whipped it around the infield thinking it was strike three. Ed Rapuano down at first, shaking his head. Now Ron Washington at the top step. Mike Maddox alongside the pitching coach, arguing that Bautista swung.
You have to make an effort at the ball. He starts and then tries to get out of the way. And that's not a swing in my book.
So it's a full count to Bautista. Got him with the breaking ball, down and away. Pretty good spot from O'Day.
Right-handers hitting 165 against Darren O'Day. He's only given up 21 hits all season long to a right-handed batter. And when you make pitches like this, 3-2, slider going down the way, putting down a dangerous hitter, you can see why. He can be tough. Bautista always grinding.
Vernon Wells has had a big night with the bat. Single homer and intentional walk. Wells has hit 6 home runs against the Rangers. Excuse me, 7 home runs against the Rangers this season. Had a 3-run homer in last night's game. Good sink on that fastball.
Tough to get that ball in the air.
That ball's in the air and deep left field and gone. Vernon Wells, his second home run of the night, number 27.
The pitch prior to that was a great sinker, down and under the knees from Darren O'Day. He had 53 innings this year. I think at 54 after the strikeout, he had given up 1 home run. You can tell why after that pitch, but this one a little bit higher. Same type of pitch over the middle of the plate. And Vernon Wells has another multi-home run game.
33rd time this year the Blue Jays have hit 3 or more in a game. Three games in a row now the Blue Jays have pounded out 3 home runs. Markham out of the ball game, but standing there for his teammate. Overbay bouncing backhanded by Kinsler, and Overbay's retired.
What is it with the Texas pitching that Vernon Wells just locked in?
Oh, and took it.
It all started in the hometown this year for him.
Vernon Wells from Arlington, Texas.
That home run right there was a lot like last night's home run, the line drive. Not sure if it's going to have enough height to get over the wall.
21st career multi-home run game for Wells, his 3rd of this season. 2nd against the Rangers. Ron Washington, as you pointed out, made the statement, how do you beat the Blue Jays? You keep the ball in the ballpark. Wells' home run is the 14th the Blue Jays have hit in this, the 5th game. They've hit 14 home runs in 5 games against Texas here in this ballpark.
Number we are talking about also. 9 of the last 10 runs coming via the home run for the Blue Jays.
The only other runs scored on a wild pitch in yesterday's game. They have homered in 9 straight games. Pretty good pitch. 4-pitch walk just off the plate. Boy, it doesn't seem to make any difference. Lefties, righties, submariners, hard throwers, soft throwers. just can't neutralize the hot bats, and Ron Washington's going to the bullpen again.
Got to play the percentages here with Adam Lynn. The Texas Rangers are within striking distance, and Ron Washington wants to keep it right there.
Now Darren O'Day gives up the home run to Vernon Wells. Darren Oliver, the veteran lefty, on to face Adam Lynn. Left-hander Darren Oliver. Oliver making his 56th appearance, trying to get out of the 7th inning, and he will face Adam Lynn.
5 days off for Darren Oliver since the last time he pitched. That was Wednesday at Kansas City. Lefty specialist. Look at those numbers for Darren Oliver. Lefty's hitting $191 against him. Just keeps getting better and better the longer he stays around.
Signed originally with the Texas Rangers as a starter way back in 1988. A third-round pick in the June draft of '88. Breaking ball. 0-2.
15th big league season for Darren Oliver. That's what he does. He makes that breaking ball away. The lefty specialist. Oliver has pitched in 55 games this season.
Breaking ball down and away. Ball and 2 strikes. Blue Jays have scored a run here in the 7th. Vernon Wells, his 2nd home run of the night. Wells is 3 for 3. A single, 2 home runs, and an intentional walk. Two balls, 2 strikes.
He'll just keep throwing that breaking ball at the lefties. See if they fish for it.
Long drive to center field. Adam Lynn has just gone deep. Home run, Adam Lynn. A 2-run shot. The 4th home run for the Blue Jays.
Lots of fireworks the last couple of days here at Rogers Center. Courtesy of the Blue Jay bats. Adam Lynn all over this pitch from Oliver. High fastball. Shoot, swing it. Got the count to 2-2. He tries to slip the fastball by him, but Lynn hits it off the windows in deep center field.
Number 20 for Adam Lynn. Lind has now 64 RBI. He, like Aaron Hill, producing here at the end of the season.
4 players now with 20 home runs for the Blue Jays.
Bautista 43, Wells 27, Hill 23, and Lynn 20. Overbay was 17 and John Buck was 17.
He's got to feel good against the left-hander. If you're Adam Lynn, they bring him in to face you, to try and get you out, and you take him deep.
John Buck went too far. Oliver gets out of the inning, but not before Adam Lynn takes him deep. 2 home runs in the inning. The Blue Jays have stretched their lead out to 8-3 after 7. Runs on 11 hits and 4 more home runs tonight. Jason Frazier will take over for Sean Markham.
Frazier into the ball game. Last time we saw him was 3 days ago in New York. He ended up picking up the loss against the Yankees. 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits, a couple of earnings, a walk and a strikeout. He'll start at the top of the lineup for Texas, and that means Ian Kinsler.
Kinsler's 0 for 3 tonight. In a hole, 0-2. Breaking ball hammered toward right. Wise back there to make the grab. 1 out. Let's check in with Sam Casentino.
Adam Lynn hit his 20th home run in the bottom of the 7th inning. That was the 4th home run of the game for Toronto. And thanks to Adam, Sharp has awarded one lucky winner a 40-inch Quatron TV and Blu-ray player. Quatron, you have to see it to see it. To see if you've won or enter, visit hitahomerunwithsharp.ca.
4 more home runs tonight. The Blue Jays have hit 22 home runs against the Texas Rangers this year.
In how many games? 8?
This is the 8th game.
Wow. You know, it's not a one-time thing here, a one-time thing there. It's been all season long. You mentioned that stat. 33 games now where the Blue Jays have hit at least 3 home runs in a game. Incredible.
Opening day, Wells and Lind both had home runs against Feldman. Second game of the season. Blue Jays hit 3 home runs. Rich Harden started that game. Wells had a big series in that opening series of the season. He had 4 home runs in the 3 days in Arlington.
They also had a game here where they won 16-10 against the Texas Rangers.
A ball and 2 strikes to Michael Young. A change of miss down and in. Cedar Gaston has a few reinforcements down in his bullpen since the 1st of September. Just added Robert Ray to that bullpen today. Young hits it on the ground, backhanded by Escobar. High throw off line. It's an error on the shortstop. Ball was well off the mark from Escobar, and Young reaches.
Gets to this ball from Michael Young, sets his feet, and then the ball takes off on him. 6th there for the season for Gino Escobar. Love watching him throw. That time throws it away.
1 out now. David Murphy's had a couple of hits in 3 at-bats. Murphy again going the opposite way. It's going to get down in front of Snyder. Young stops at second. The air opened the door, and Murphy collects his 3rd hit of the night. All 3 hits going to left field, and quickly Bruce Walton's on the horn of the bullpen. Sean Markham turned things over to the bullpen after another 7 strong innings.
5 great starts now in a row for Sean Markham. 7 innings, 8 strikeouts. That's the most strikeouts in a game for Sean since July the 30th, when he got 10 of them against the Cleveland Indians. Pounding the strike zone early. Very resourceful with his pitches. Gets through 7 innings, giving up just the 3 runs.
Vladdy Guerrero bats with 2 on and 1 out here. 8th inning. Guerrero's 1 for 3. 2-run home run came in the 4th inning.
You know, another thing that makes Guerrero so tough. You see the great numbers, just under 300, and the home runs and the RBIs, but he doesn't strike out much. With that hacking style that he has, he is in the top 10 in the American League for the hardest to strike out.
Got 55 strikeouts. That's incredible for the wild swing that he has. It's wild, but it's actually under control.
Well, his strike zone is as big as the batter's box. You would think at some point that he would swing and miss through some of those pitches.
2-0 to Guerrero. Swings at it. This should be 2. Hill to Escobar for 1. Back to first. It is a double play. Second time tonight, Guerrero has grounded into an inning-ending double play that shuts down the Rangers in the 8th.
This fourth deck for a home run to tie this one up. Vernon Wells would add a home run later on, and the Blue Jays right now lead by 5.
New pitcher is Clay Rapata in to face Travis Snyder. Snyder leading off the 8th inning. See his numbers from AAA Oklahoma City. Pitched in 50 games in AAA, had a couple of saves. Opponents hit just 158 against Rapata. We saw him in last night's game. Came in and retired the final 2 batters in the 8th inning. Struck them both out.
He has had some time with the Tigers in his career. He's also pitched for the Cubs back in 2007.
That breaking ball down and away in a tough spot for Snyder. First out of the ninth. Excuse me, bottom of the 8th here.
Not really having an idea of what the new pitcher is going to do to you. Rapata throws a lot of breaking balls, sweeps that one off the plate for the strikeout. Brought in here to get the lefties. Hasn't given up a hit this year. It's only been a few at bats since he's been called up against lefties.
Dwayne Wise with 2 hits. Ducks back from the inside fastball. He had a big double in the 6th inning off Michael Kirkman, the left-hander. .299 average for Wise. Up the middle. Kinsler near the bag at second. Gets Wise. Check in with Sam Cosentino.
Well, Blackberry tweeting Tuesday almost to a close here. Tuesday, September 21st, the Jays versus Mariners is our next edition. Interact with the Blue Jays and the Sportsnet broadcast team throughout the game. Great prizes to be won, including the opportunity to throw at the first pitch, autographed merchandise, and T-shirts. Call 416-341-1234. Visit BlueJays.com or most Rogers Plus locations for tickets to Blackberry Tweeting Tuesdays.
2 outs now for Junel Escobar. We saw this last night with Rapata facing right-handed hitters. He's got pretty good movement on his fastball. A little bit harder than what you're used to from a side-arming left-hander.
Hides the ball really well. Got that high leg kick, comes from down under. Throws his glove arm at you. The ball's right there. You would think that a guy who can throw strikes like that could help somebody. Spent the year down in the minor leagues for Texas.
You and I both know that in AAA, you throw anything around the plate that's got big movement on, guys are going to swing and miss. Up here, they will lay off those pitches out of the strike zone. And there's an example of it, a 4-pitch walk to Escobar. But you can really get tricked by minor league numbers, especially from a pitcher.
Ballparks are smaller, especially if you are a hitter out in the Pacific Coast League. Ooh.
Everybody's looking for 44. Ron Washington's got extra arms down there, so he's going to bring a right-hander in after Rapata walked Escobar. So with 2 outs, pitching change, Bautista over to check with Dwayne Murphy. taken out after he gave up a double to Overbay and a single to Aaron Hill.
Yeah, we didn't see much of him, but what we did see was he's got a very good arm. He has to control a little bit more. 6 2/3 innings, 6 walks, 7 Ks for stroke. This is his 5th stint with the Rangers this year. Talk about the shuttle from the big leagues to AAA, up and down 5 times this year for Texas.
The Oklahoma City Shuffle from Arlington to Oklahoma City AAA. Jose Bautista took a first pitch curveball for a strike. Ball on the strike. Clay Rapada goes just 2/3 of an inning. Strikes out a batter and walks a batter. Fly ball to right field, but not that deep. Cruz is there and makes the catch. Bautista's retired. We have played 8 innings here at Rogers Center. The Blue Jays out in front 8-3. When we come back, Sean Kemp will work the ninth. Information provided by Statsy. Music provided by Universal Canada. We're in the 9th inning here at Rogers Center. Defensive change at second base. John McDonald comes in to take over for Aaron Hill. Hill's been battling a sore knee. And the new pitcher, Sean Kemp, in relief of Jason Frazier. Frazier had a good 8th inning and got the double play off the bat of Vladdy Guerrero to end the 8th. So Kemp gets the 9th.
He wasn't hurt by the error by the shortstop, as he got a good hitter in Guerrero with the double play. Kemp, you see his good numbers. He pitched in last night's game also. Had an inning, just a scratch hit given up.
Nelson Cruz takes a strike. Rangers are down by 5. They need base runners. Rangers in danger, falling to 2-6 on this road trip. Bounced up the middle, through there into center field. The leadoff base hit for Cruz. His first hit of the series. Cruz was 0 for 5 in last night's game. He's now 1 for 3 here tonight. The rookie Mitch Moreland. Takes the first pitch strike. Texas at the start of play tonight was 7 games ahead of Oakland. Rangers have lost 4 in a row. Or in the opposite field and hit deep. This ball slicing away from Snyder. It's a fair ball. Bounces out of play. Ground rule double. Cruz will stop at third.
Texas Rangers have some ability to come back. They've got some hitters in that lineup. They are second in the American League in batting average at .275, trying to make some noise here in the ninth inning. They're just thinking about base running. Down by 5, as you can see, that ball just stays fair, bounces into the stand about a foot on the inner half.
Benji Molina batting for the first time. He came on defensively in the 7th inning. Makes the first pitch strike. Second and third for the Rangers. Nobody out. Molina 238 on the season. His time split with the Giants and the Rangers.
Those runners don't mean anything to the Blue Jays. They will trade an out for a run.
0-2. Couple of big bats in this Ranger lineup missing. Josh Hamilton out with bruised ribs. Elvis Andrus, the shortstop, with a hamstring problem, both unavailable. Jam to third. Bautista with plenty of time and almost throws it away at first. Overbase said, no problem, I saw it all the way. Molina is retired.
Okay, he also knows who was running. Bautista took his time at third base. Molina is jammed big time. Throw starts to sail on him also. But Lyle Overbay has plenty of time to get back and get the first out.
Number 8 hitter, Andres Blanco. Blanco had a broken bat RBI single in the 7th. Hey, Ron Washington has asked his hitters to take a strike.
They need base runners. At least give yourself a chance to get that tying run to the plate. Problem with that strategy, though, is Sean Kemp doesn't walk anybody. It's always around the plate.
Missed with that sinking fastball. 1-1. Bounced up the middle, through there into center field. 2 runs are going to come in to score. It's an 8-5 ball game. Blanco picks up his second hit and is driven in 3.
First hit was right off the glove of Lyle Overbay. This time Sean Kemp tries a sinker down and away, stays right with it. Hits it perfectly right back through the middle. You can see John McDonald was playing him to pull. No chance for that. 2 runs are going to score.
Julio Bourbon, number 9 hitter. Cito Gaston again will get the bullpen going. Kevin Gregg has been up. They just checked on his status. Two and 0. Another base runner will bring the tying run to the plate.
And a home run threat, too, in Ian Kinsler.
Two balls and a strike. Base hit right field. Blanco will stop at second. Kinsler headed to the plate representing the tying run. Cito Gaston coming out of the Blue Jays dugout. He has the closer ready. 4 hits in the inning, and here comes Kevin Gregg. Rangers got to Sean Kemp. 2 runs hit, tying run at the plate. Kevin Gregg on. The Blue Jays. Ball game starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, right here on Rogers Sportsnet.
Kevin Gregg, the closer for the Toronto Blue Jays, in now to save situations. This would be the 52nd time that we have seen him. A very good save percentage. 30 for 35 for Kevin Gregg. 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Those 30 saves are 5th in the American League. Second time in his career that he has reached 30 saves. Gregg in to face Kinsler with a couple of runners on.
Blanco drove in 2. He's at second. Bourbon with a single to rights at first. Kinsler represents the tying run. Rangers have scored 2 here in the 9th. Cut on and missed by Kinsler.
He knows that. Ian Kinsler loves that first pitch fastball. Gregg has been in this situation before, knows Kinsler loves it. Crosses him up, throws a breaking ball.
Kinsler 3 for 6 against the Blue Jays closer. Breaking ball, Overbay wide of first, second base for the force out. That's all they'll get. No reason to risk a wild throw to first. Kinsler's aboard on the fielder's choice, Michael Young.
Just counting outs right here. Get the out. Overbay's momentum taking him to the bag. It's much easier play that way with a left-handed throwing first baseman.
Michael Young is 0 for 4. Bounced outside of third after the first pitch.
This is where Michael Young is dangerous in my book, but he is 0 for 4. Looking for that base hit. In his career, he has faced Kevin Gregg 10 times. So he's very familiar with what Gregg likes to do to him.
No balls in a strike. In the dirt. 1-1. The left-hander David Murphy is on deck. He is 3 for 4 tonight. And you don't even want to think about who's behind Murphy.
Hopefully it doesn't get to that. There he is in the hole.
A ball and a strike. 2-1. Kevin Gregg with 30 saves this year. Young's had a tough time with that pitch away from him all night long.
Markham pitched him real tough. Those little cutters away from him, just off the plate. Young would just tap it. Get a couple of them off the end of the bat to the first baseman, and he also struck him out a couple of times.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Another foul off the end of the bat. They're staying away. Another slice out of play into the seats. Michael Young hanging tough.
He's always been a very clutch player. All-Star game triple that he hit a few years back always comes to mind when he's in these big situations. It ended up being a game winner.
Blocked by Buck. Full count, 2 outs. Blanco at third. Kinsler at first. Michael Young at the plate representing the tying run. Rangers down to their last strike. David Murphy on deck with 3 hits tonight. Driven to center field. Wells is deep, and he's got a play on it. Blue Jays win it. Michael Young hit it hard, but Kevin Gregg picks up the save. His 31st of the year. Sean Markham with his 12th win. Vernon Wells with another big night against Texas.
How appropriate is it that Vernon Wells catches the last out, because it was his big bat tonight that really afforded the Blue Jays to win this game.
Blue Jays win it 8-5. They pound out 4 more home runs. Sean Markham's the winner. Kevin Gregg with the save. We'll see you tomorrow night.